All right guys, Chris here with RackUp+Go, and today we're going to be installing this EcoFlow Alternator Charger and pairing it to this Delta 2 Max. Let's get started. All right guys, so let's get this unboxed and start taking a look at the components we're going to be installing today. A couple nice tabs here. We'll pull this out. This looks like potentially the brains, and then this box appears to be all of our cables, and that's it. I'll set that aside. Opening up cable box here. Now this should have, we're gonna have a cable that's got a fuse. It's gonna come from the battery. That's gonna go to the main cable that plugs into this alternator charger here. So this looks like the connection. This is going to go to the Delta 2 Max. This is going to go to the EcoFlow Alternator Charger. There's our fuse cable. Nice MIDI fuse in there, 125 amps. This is going to be connected to the battery. And then this cable with its positive terminal here, connect into this nut here. Pretty simple. This goes into the alternator charger. We got some really nice Velcro cables here to keep everything tidy. Terminal ends are covered. And let's open this up. We've got our instructions. And this is a unit. Almost looks like a Wi-Fi router. Here's where all of our connections are going to be coming into. So we've got a communication port, our connections going from and to the battery, and then this looks like a Wi-Fi antenna. There's a little symbol on here. Pretty simple. Looks like there's actually 3 screws here for mounting, 4 screws for actually mounting this in, if you want to rigid mount this. So, and we have covers for all of these components. So we'll keep everything covered while we're doing the install. And next we're going to move around to the battery and see where we're going to connect this up. All right guys, so our install today is taking place on a 2022 F-150. The battery happens to be located on the passenger side, so we're on the passenger side of the vehicle, and we're going to be connecting to this stud actually on the battery. We've got a nice convenient point for mounting the fuse. You can already see we've got some other wiring in here, but we'll mount to this stud here for the positive connection. Now the negative connection on this vehicle, there is a battery management system. That is this sensor right here. So we want to avoid attaching directly to the battery. We want the BMS of the truck to see the charge coming out and the charge coming in, because the EcoFlow Alternator Charger can actually push power back to your vehicle battery to maintain its charge. Something very helpful with the F-150s, because this thing is a rolling computer. When it's sitting just idle, there's a lot of parasitic draws from various electronics. The over-the-air updates can be pretty taxing on the battery. And we want the truck to know when that EcoFlow is actually putting charge back into the battery, so it knows, hey, I'm at 100% state of charge. This over-the-air update can push through no problem. So our ground points, we have them, the whole chassis is basically a ground. We've got a nice convenient ground point here. We've got another one here. There's another one down here. There's one down on the chassis, on the frame rail down there. So we're gonna pick whatever's most convenient based on the length of the cable, and that's where we're gonna connect the ground. So avoid connecting directly to the battery. You could connect to this top stud here. You can already see I have a voltage sensor line on this, so I'm gonna avoid attaching directly to that. We're gonna go directly to a chassis ground. All right guys, so we're gonna start by running our power cable. This plug is actually a little bit too big to run through the body grommet, so we're actually gonna be starting from inside the vehicle and passing the small end out through that body grommet. Now, on the F-150s, there's a pretty convenient spot underneath the passenger floorboard where there's a little rubber grommet that we're able to easily pop out. So if you have a floor mat, you can start by taking that out. And then this sill plate is gonna pop up. Just like that. And that'll allow you to reach underneath the carpet, and you'll find that small little body grommet. It's about 3 inches in from kind of where the edge of the carpet stops. So we'll pop that out. The grommet looks like this. Now your vehicle may have a similar spot, make it easy to run. If you're doing this install on an F-150, this makes it pretty easy. So we'll start by feeding our cable through underneath the carpeting, down and out the body grommet. We're gonna ride along the frame rail and then pop up right here on this passenger side to connect to the battery. All right, we've got our power cable run. Our positive is coming here to this stud. Fuse is in here. And then our negative cable, we've got that running to this chassis ground here. And then the rest of the cable runs along the frame rail, up underneath that grommet on the passenger side near the seat. And then the end of the cable is popping out underneath the passenger side seat, and that's where we're going to mount the alternator charger box, and then the cable will run from there to the D2 Max. It'll be right behind the passenger seat. So we'll swing around over to there and take a look at all that. All right guys, so we're up in the truck. We've got our alternator charging box here. Our cable is popping out right here. I've got this coiled wire kind of just hanging underneath the seat, loose right now. These handy little Velcro straps definitely come in handy, and what's nice is they do stick to the kind of under seat material, so we're going to be able to organize these cables really nice. This cable shows alternator in. There's a little picture of a car on it, so we're actually going to pop out that little rubber gasket, and this is going to plug right into that. The other port, we've got a picture of battery here. Matches the picture here, pretty easy. This is going to plug into here, and then this is the cable that is going to go to the D2 Max. We're going to go into this port here. Make sure that's solidly in. Now we're all connected, so we're just going to tidy up these cables, get this alternator charging box probably slipped under the seat, move this down to the floor, and we'll take it for a test ride and see how it works. All right guys, we've been driving here for only a few minutes. We're sitting at 14 volts, 800 watts. We're up to a 96% charge rate after very little driving, mostly just kind of cruising around like this. And it's indicating a full charge in 7 minutes from now. So super impressive charge rate. We are getting the 800 watts that it's claiming. And I'm overall very impressed with this. All right guys, so let's test out the reverse charging function. So this is where the D2 Max is actually going to charge the vehicle's battery. I've got a separate voltage sensor on this battery, currently showing 12.63 volts. So let's switch over to the alternator charger. Let's click on reverse charge, confirm that mode. Click on start working. We'll switch back to our battery sensing app, showing a voltage of 13.84, 86, 87, yep, working flawlessly. So this is working as a way to keep your battery topped up. We can come back to the EcoFlow app, and it actually is showing 348, 344, so about 340 watts going into the vehicle starting battery to charge that back up. Really a sweet feature. Let's see what battery maintenance is. So we'll hit confirm. Battery maintenance, considering this battery is pretty healthy, pretty fully charged at 12.6 volts, this is probably a better mode to be in. Let's switch back to the voltage sensor. So it did drop the voltage down right around 13.06 right now, 13.05. And yeah, about 100 watts. So this is going to be more of a trickle charge function for the battery maintenance. A little bit lower voltage, lower current rate going into the battery. I think if you had a dead battery where you're looking to kind of charge this back up, you would want to go to reverse charge. For just general battery maintenance, keeping the battery in full health, battery maintenance is going to be the one you want to choose. Awesome. We'll turn this off right now. Come back, let's take a look at our battery voltage. We can start to see it dropping off. Yep, 12.86, 12.85. Perfect.